everybody. Welcome back to an episode of Fran Presents the Play Call. Week 10 down, going on to week 11. I'm joined by June, Bree, and Nikki will join us a little later. Some prior engagements. June, how you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Super motivated, highly dedicated. Um, it's chilly outside. You know what I mean? Feeling very good, really good, man. Here sipping on some purple grape.
Yeah, that's dope. It is chilly outside, bro. It is. Up here, I started wearing a hoodie just to go to work. Um, but let's get to it, man. What are some of the for you this weekend? What's your takeaways, man? Like, what do you see? Obviously, your Eagles took a L, but what is it that this weekend your takeaways on it?
Shoot, let me bring out my notes. So, uh, so it was crazy, man. Starting with the Seattle game down in London. Shout out to Brady. Being the first quarterback to win in it's 4 different countries, right? 4 different countries. Um, and they needed that win.
Yeah,
They needed it. It's not even like a maybe going into the bye. Like he said, I'd rather go into a bye being 5-5 than 4-6. And they needed that win, going in there with some type of momentum coming back. And they didn't beat a scrub team. They beat a highly moving team in a hot streaking Geno Smith. So I thought that was great for them, especially for that organization or whatnot. The Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson, golly, man, the struggles are still there. I don't even know what to say anymore. Just don't put them in prime time anymore, please. If you're listening, do us all that favor. Miami Dolphins, they look unstoppable. To be really honest with you, Tua looks really good. Um, and it's kind of hard to stop that 1-2 punch, But just like the Eagles and any other team that it's on the top, your biggest concern is always going to be injuries. So as long as those players could maintain that healthy status, I think they'll be the team to beat. And other than that, I mean, obviously, the game of the week, bro. The game of the week. And I'm sure we're gonna touch bases more on it. Game of the week was definitely the Vikings and the Bills. I think the Vikings definitely cemented themselves in a Super Bowl contender for real. And it says a lot, man, because you coming from the NFC and you got beat by the Eagles. The Eagles the Eagles schedule really didn't really put them in the map as a undefeated strong candidate, so to speak, right? Because that was everybody's thing. But they got beat by the Eagles. They went over there and did their thing in Buffalo.
mm,
Again, we'll talk about that later on. Shit, man, the Giants still rolling, which is crazy, right? I don't even know what to say about the Giants. I'm not even gonna hate on them. I'm not gonna say nothing negative about them. So all you Giants fans out there, I give you your credit. You guys are doing your thing. So shout out to you guys. Um, the Raiders are crazy right now. I don't know what's going on with that organization, and I think as crazy as this may seem, God, these 49ers look insanely crazy when it comes to the offensive weapons that they have over there. So that's something to look out for. And the Dallas Cowboys. What can I say about you guys? Hey, and you know what, Dallas fans? Let me tell you guys something. Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers were dying, and you guys came and you did CPR. You did CPR and you resuscitated them. You made them look like, wait a minute, they were just struggling. And there we go. The MVP is making it happen. You guys took a team with no receivers and made them look like Pro Bowl candidates just like that. Gallup, he looks overrated and overpaid. I don't know. Maybe it's his knee. Who knows, right? CeeDee Lamb, he still did a hell of a job. 150 something yards, 9 receptions, whatnot, 2 touchdowns. He looked good. He did have a couple of drop passes. It is what it is. Pollard is Pollard. You know what I mean? Shoot. Elliott didn't play, but even when he played, he didn't play. So
yeah.
it is what it is. But shoot, man, those are my quick little take back from the games. I had my little notes taken down or whatnot. Before we get into it, what is yours, Frank?
So one thing is that Brady and Aaron Rodgers remind me of them old school boxers that are hanging around. They might not have the same speed. They might not have the same punch, but they have the knowledge and the IQ to still beat you. And you said it best. Cowboys gave them life. You know, Brady went overseas, won. Wasn't a pretty game either. Let's not make it seem like it, but like you said, some consistency. You see Julio Jones score a touchdown. You see they rushed for over 100 yards. You start bringing life, and Brady's a veteran. He's been around for a while, so he knows going into the bye, you want to have some positivity. You want to have something working for you. Not saying that both these teams are going to go out and win the Super Bowl this year, but the problem with teams like that is that when you have the leadership in Brady, or you have the knowledge or the MVP caliber quarterback and Rodgers, that sometimes they elevate. And when they elevate, they can knock out these younger teams that think, oh, these guys are over the hump. You know what I'm saying? You sleep, you're going to get caught lacking. The other thing I learned, man, is some quarterbacks can ruin the game for you. Josh Allen did too much. Ray Lewis said it best on Inside NFL. He said one thing about Brady that made him great was that Brady, in those moments, in those drives, in the fourth quarter, overtime, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, hell, Mahomes now to a certain extent, they took what's given. I'm gonna take the for sure 5 or 6 yards, and I'm gonna dink and dunk you down the field until you mess up, or then vice going with the deep threat. We saw Allen try to take a shot in the end zone. He'd have to take turnover, game over. Same thing we saw with Dak Prescott. You're trying to force the ball. You're making bad decisions. You want to be that contender. You want to be that number one team. You want people to say, we're going to win. But when you make those decisions in those close games, you're going to, it's going to cost your team to win. And you can't make it back. And football is one and done in the playoffs,
Right.
Packers, yeah, Colts win with a quarterback that I mean,
Oh my goodness.
that was on the couch. A lot of slack over that. We'll talk about that. You said the Broncos look horrible. Yup. Chiefs are rolling, man. The Chiefs are rolling. Mahomes is turning around. And we're going to talk about the Vikings game. So, but my takeaway this weekend is perfect like this, man. Look, sometimes the best team lose, but because they beat themselves. Poor decision making, poor play, missed tackles, not wrapping up, the bumping instead of wrapping, late hits, penalties. You got to control that, especially this late in the game, because they can hurt you. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go into the recaps of the games for Week 10, and then me and you can talk about the Vikings and Bills game a little bit more further, because I do agree with you. The Vikings' only loss came to your team, and they've been rolling since, man. And it hasn't been pretty. And this last game was a battle-tested game, so we'll get into that. First game, Thursday night, we had the Falcons at Panthers. Panthers upset the Falcons, in my opinion, 25-15. In Germany, our first game ever in Germany, Seahawks versus Bucks. Bucks won 21-16. Vikings at Bills, 33-30. Vikings favor in overtime. Lions and Bears, 31-30 Lions at Chicago. Broncos at Titans. Titans won 17-10. Jaguars at Chiefs, 17-27. Chiefs favor. Browns at Dolphins. Dolphins won 39-17. Texans at Giants. Giants won 24-16. Saints at Steelers. I honestly thought the Steelers would lose, but they won 20-10. Colts at Raiders. 25-20 Colts favor. Cowboys at Lambeau with the Packers, 28-31 in overtime. Arizona Cardinals versus Rams in LA. Both didn't start their starting quarterbacks. 2017 Cardinals. Chargers at 49ers, 22-16 49ers. And then the Washington Commanders at Philadelphia, 32-21 was the final score on Monday Night Football. So I'm trying to let everybody else get on before we go into a lot of these games, but let's talk about the Vikings-Bills game. Probably one of the best games of the season so far. A lot of when you thought it was over, it wasn't over. you know, and it just it's full of surprises. The stopping of Kirk Cousins on fourth and goal at the 1, and then Josh Allen fumbles, and it's a touchdown recovery. You know, they go into overtime, but Jefferson, bro, they couldn't stop Jefferson. They couldn't stop Jefferson. They couldn't. And I think to me, besides the mistakes, besides the penalties, besides the turnovers, what helped, we said it last year in the Super Bowl with Aaron Donald. He took the game over and he created havoc that helped stop the Bengals. Great players step up and make great plays. When you think they're down, they get up and they get it. And I think Jefferson, man, he said he wanted to be the top receiver in the league. And I tell you right now, I don't care about yards, but I care about his heart and gameplay. And he gave it all that game. I mean, they couldn't stop him, bro. That double coverage, he's catching the ball. He's gonna get hit, he's catching the ball. And shout out to Kirk Cousins, man. He made it happen. You know, he made it happen. I think like I said, one of the best games of the season. A lot of that should have been prime time, to be honest. And I feel like it exposed some of the Bills' problems. Those problems. And like I talked to you on the text, Vikings of week 2 ain't the same way Vikings now. That chemistry is something, man. It's something. So what's your take on it?
Man, I think you hit it right. You hit the nail right in the head. Jefferson monster. You know, kick myself in the face 87 times every day because of how we could have had my main man 300 grand. Right now they're actually on the same team, which is kind of awkward, right? Rager's there, but shit, you haven't even heard his name ever since he went over there. So he is living like the Eagles right now. Because if he would have been with us, he would have been 8-1. He's over there 8-1.
Yeah.
So hey, so it is what it is. But Jefferson, 100% monster. Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins, it's kind of crazy for me to say this, but I think he's really, really an underrated quarterback. Yeah, he has his miscues on Monday nights, right? Because to me, I think that's his man. What do you call that? The Superman thing, the kryptonite, right? That's Monday nights are his kryptonite. He ain't gonna win. You already know. But aside from that, he came back. He held his composure. He was super accurate, especially with that one long pass where he caught it like at the 4, I think it was, or something like that. And yeah, it took Jefferson to grab it, but I mean that accuracy has to be there in order for him to make that catch. That was one, and then 2. Let's talk about the Bills for a second, man. The Bills are a extremely talented team that are extremely underachieving. And I don't know no other way to say it. They're underachieving for the talent that they have. They're 6-3. They lost to the Jets, they lost to the Vikings, and they lost to the Dolphins. They lost to the Dolphins, right? And I get it. You know where you could get away with one with the Dolphins, but to the Jets and the Vikings, given the way that they were already playing and winning, that shouldn't have happened. And there's only one person to blame. I would blame the coach on here, but I'm going to go ahead and blame Josh Allen. I think he tries too hard. He tries too hard, given the fact that he knows how talented he is. He knows how strong he is. But sometimes, my dude, you just got to either A, throw it away, or B, sometimes you just got to take that sack, bro. Take that sack, man, because now you're forcing that ball. Hey.
Take it down to the running back. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
That's it, man. And he lost the game twice.
Yeah.
It wasn't nobody else. You know what I mean? It wasn't the coach or anything like that. Because somebody said on Get Up, hey, when are you gonna blame the coach? I said, I get it. But when are you going to blame the quarterback? Because the quarterback made that decision to throw that damn ball. And even if the coach were he had enough time in the pocket to throw it out. So even if the coach, hey, you know what, do this play, and he didn't call his own when he was in the line, he still made that decision. So I think Allen, man, again, underachiever, do better, my dude, because
So
you're extremely talented.
I want to ask you. I was watching Inside NFL, and they were talking about this specific thing here, and it was right after the highlights of the game, and Julian Edelman said that he thinks some of the struggles come from the fact that Brian Dable isn't there anymore as the offensive coordinator. He's with the Giants as the head coach. So he's not knocking the OC, but he feels that the OC isn't producing. Like when it comes to the second half of the game, it's like he goes blank. Like they're not the same as they are in the first half. Um, and he's not saying that it's all the coach's fault, but he's saying also when do we change up the plays a little bit? You know what I'm saying? When it becomes a predictable. I feel, but I watched the game just like you watched the game. We watched it together actually, and those mistakes was his fault, man. Was his fault. I mean, the fumble in the end zone. I mean, he went to get the ball. It was a close hike. He was under center. It could happen to anybody, but those are the moments you don't want it to happen. But still, okay, you go into overtime. That pass you threw in the end zone, that was your fault. You forced the pass. You didn't. I don't care if the coach look. Okay, we talk about this all the time. Some of these quarterbacks have to make the call to change the play if it doesn't look normal. Peyton, I get it. He had his resume, so at one point he was able to do that. But he was doing that even when he wasn't Peyton Manning. Brady, as much as he's a system quarterback, they say he does it all the time. Hey, I'll check out. Hey, let's call it. No, let's call the play. That doesn't look right. Let's go somewhere else. So and I think forcing the ball down into spots that you don't have to also comes with experience. You know what I'm saying? The turnovers are killing him. The interceptions, he got, I think, 10. He's leading the season, I think, right now with 10. Um, and you bring it up all the time, but it's true. He has the picks. Those picks hurt against a team like the Vikings that can move the ball. They kind of had your defense number in a sense. You wasn't stopping them. But then let's give a shout out to, like you said, Kirk Cousins. This season, he's at 64.1% completion. He's thrown for 2,356 yards. He's averaging 6.7 yards, and he's got 14 touchdowns to 8 interceptions on the season. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. And look who picked off Allen twice was Patrick Peterson, or whatever his name is. He a veteran, a vet in the game that understands coverage, understands everything. Again, like I said, sometimes these old timers, man, they just know where to be and when to be there. They don't have to be the fastest no more. They don't have to be the strongest, but I'm gonna be there because I know football. So, with that being said, Vikings, you guys, you have first place because you got the tiebreaker. You guys beat them. How deadly do you think Vikings are?
I know on the chat, right? I know we BS and we have a good time, right? Or I know outside the podcast. So, but in reality, the Eagles and the Vikings, we had the same players, right, all season. And we just like we had them when we won the Super Bowl. We dominated them then. We took them home and we did the same thing, right? We took that offense away. Different quarterbacks, but still same team. However, I think though the chemistry was clicking with the Eagles in week 2 or 3, whenever it was, it just took them a little bit longer to start clicking over there, and now they're clicking. I guess the only thing that I would have to go back and look at is when we did play them, when we did shut down Jefferson, what did Kirk Cousins do? Because if in any other game, Jefferson is killing the game, but when you have that corner and that secondary back there that's going to stop those receivers, what pressure are you putting on Kirk Cousins? And Dalvin Cook is great, but he's also injury prone. So what pressures are you going to put on him as well? So that's my only thing. I think that they're a threat, but just like the Buffalo Bills, when you take away their receiving offense, what do you really do as a quarterback, Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, when
Yeah.
your running game just really isn't 100%?
Um, I think you said a lot of good stuff there, and I agree with you. I think they are established themselves as a little bit of a contender. Like you said, your chemistry came on a lot faster, a lot sooner. Um, and I think the Eagles are fine. Look, they lost a game to the Commanders. We all take a hit. It was a divisional game. But I think the Vikings, man, I think they're really, if Kirk Cousins keeps playing good and making right decisions, it's gonna be a problem, bro. But I agree. Another player besides Jefferson has to show up. But I think they have a good tandem with their running backs. You know, they got Cook and they got, I forgot who the other guy is over there that they have, but it's a good 1-2 punch if you use it right, you know? Um, and then you have Jefferson, you have Thielen, and I don't know who their tight ends is, but I think they could. Again, NFC is kind of wide open, in my opinion. The other team that I would say is 49ers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
If that chemistry can get better between now and the postseason, because they're still learning. You just added Christian McCaffrey. You got
Mm.
Debo, you got Ayuk, you have Kettle, you have Elijah Mitchell. I think they have another running back too. And if Jimmy G can just be efficient, he doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to be, spectacular. He just needs to be efficient and not make
Right.
mistakes. I think they'll be fine. So to me, the biggest threats right now, uh, obviously, I'm gonna put the Eagles up there. I think they'll get the number 1 seed. I think followed by the Vikings, 49ers. In the NFC South, I see the Bucks winning, but I don't see them really being, a problem. I think they'll be one and done in the postseason. Um, Maybe the Giants squeeze in as another wild card team in there. They're number 2 now. Cowboys are playing. We'll discuss that later, but I think they're contenders. So we'll see. Now, on the other side to that, the Bills.
You-
Do you think the Bills can turn it around and still win the East?
I'll tell you what, man. Um, when they lost to the Dolphins, though I talked a lot of crap, in reality, they lost to a great team.
Yeah.
When they lost to the Jets, it was miscues, a little bit eye opener. Like, you know what? Maybe they needed that loss right there. But now, when they just lost after having, the lead and the way that they lost recently, um, it just makes me feel like if the Dolphins continue to play this great, I'm not even worrying about the Bills being a Super Bowl contender anymore. If if um if the Ravens get it together, I'm not worrying about the Bills being a Super Bowl contender anymore. Yeah, they beat the Ravens by 3, but if they fix those little miscues over there, again with the addition that they have in the defensive line now that they picked up in Baltimore, again, it just puts the Bills exactly where they're at. They're number 3 in their division right now,
Yeah.
and I hate to kind of say it, man, but I mean, I think that they're in the right. They're fitting right in where they're at. They're ranked number 3, and I don't see another reason why they aren't. Why they shouldn't be.
I'm gonna tell you, I hate to have to say this as much as I'm a supporter, but I think you're right, man. I think their losses, their miscues, and especially against the Jets. And the reason I'm so critical with the Jets, I'm not talking about Dolphins. Again, you got Tua, you got Waddle, you got Gesicki. Now you got Mitchell, or not Mitchell, Wilson, the running back from the 49ers there. Tua's playing great ball, man. I think he's like 9 or 8 interceptions, no, touchdowns to 0 interceptions since he came back from the concussion. So, I mean, they're playing great. The defense doesn't have to do much. The offense is the defense, but they're doing great too, not to take away from them. But the Jets the previous week were manhandled by my team, the Patriots. And on paper, the Patriots don't have the same offensive power that the Bills have. First of all, we
Right.
have Mac Jones. We don't have Josh Allen. We don't have a Stephon Diggs. Devontae Parker was out. You know what I'm saying? We have Aguilar, we have Bourne, we have Jacoby Myers. We do have a good running back tandem, but I mean, as we do have John Smith and Hunter Henry. But let's just be honest, both those tight ends haven't been the same tight ends they were in their teams, respectively, before coming over to the Pats. So
Right.
um, you lose to the Jets in a bad way, in my opinion, and then you go ahead and you lose to the Vikings. You gave Aaron Rodgers and the Packers 2 picks that if it was the Aaron Rodgers that showed up to play against the Cowboys, you might have lost that game.
Right.
And then you go let the Vikings, and again, it was a close game. Both teammates mistakes, but the team that made the mistakes at the end is the one that lost. That was the Bills. And it came at the hand, not a batted pass, not a ball that hit my gloves and bounced off, and now is
Mm.
intercepted. It was you making a bad decision and throwing the ball into a coverage and not seeing a defender or thinking your arm was strong enough to fit it in and it wasn't. So I have to agree, man. I think the Dolphins are the team to beat in the East for AFC side. And I think that right behind them will probably be the Jets because they're playing great. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. If the Pats can figure it out after this bye week and play efficient football and not turn the ball over, and that defense has been lights out. Donald Smith, I think, leads the league in sacks. I'm not sure. Um, then it could be different. It could be some competition in there. You know what I'm saying? But they can't keep losing. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out, man, to I went to this pizza shop. It's called Beef Pizza today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to this dude named Brandon. He's a Jets fan. So he see me with the Eagles sweatshirt on, and he asked me about it, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it later on. But he said some real stuff today too. He said, you know what? I'm excited for the Jets because though I know we're not gonna win the Super Bowl this year, the threat that we're gonna bring into the season next year is what's gonna put us on the map. Not next year, this year. And I started thinking about what he was saying, and it kind of like he really made a lot of sense. Like if the Jets keep playing the way that they're playing and surprising folks the way that they are, I can only imagine the adjustments they will make and the threat they will bring into the table next year.
Bro, Salah, let's give this man credit. When he came there, I knew the defense was going to be great. He changed the defense around. What's up, Bree? He changed the defense around. The Jets' atmospheres changed. They're winning games. I think that if Zach Wilson could stop seeing ghosts and turn the ball over and play again effective, efficient football, the Jets could be a team that's nasty because their defense is great and they got some players over on that side too. So, but I think the Bills are where they need to be right now and they need to be humbled. Dolphins are definitely showing that investing into Tyreek Hill and getting Wilson and all that good stuff is paying off. Like you said, pick your poison. You can double Water, you can double Hill, but then you're gonna leave Gesicki open. And now you got a tight end that can catch the ball in the middle field, kind of like a Chiefs recipe. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek, another right receiver on the outside like Miko Harmon and Kelsey in the middle, and an average to decent running back that can get you some yards when you need it. Bree, how are you?
Okay.
So Bree, let me ask you, what are some of your takeaways from this weekend?
Um, Steelers are winning the Super Bowl. We
Yeah,
just need to.
I'm calling
We
the
just
CDO. We just need a urinalysis done tomorrow because this is getting
as
too
long
crazy.
as long the 3 games that we played, there was pigeons on the field. So we just need to make sure there's still pigeons on the field for the rest of the season. Let me look at the games real fast. I forgot who played. My apologies.
We did talk about the Vikings and the Bills game too, by the way.
That was a good game. Josh Allen, he messed that away in the end zone. What else? I don't really have any takeaways.
Okay.
I didn't really watch a lot of football because I was with my family on Sunday.
So we talked about the Bills and Vikings. I said the Vikings could probably be some contenders. You know, we said the Bills due to their, I guess, lack of, I'm not gonna say explosive plays, but discipline play. Turning the ball over, the miscues, the Josh Allen throwing the pick like he did, the fumble in the end zone.
Picks.
Yeah, picks. But I'm talking about the one that ended the game and over.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
um, it shows that maybe they're not ready to be with it. We people want them to be. He has to make better decisions. You know what I'm saying with the ball. So my question, and I wish Nikki was here. Right, we watched the Jags play. I know I did. Um, is it a quarterback problem in Jacksonville, or is it a team problem? And I only say this because against the
I
Eagles,
think
5
it's an
turnovers.
organization problem
You
though.
think it's organization? June says it's quarterback. So June, go with quarterback first, and then I'll let Bree go with the organization.
Yep. I'm gonna go 100% the quarterback. At the end of the game, Patrick Mahomes says something to Trevor Lawrence, and he said, you know, spark those guys up. You have a talented team over there, right? Pretty much. I'm gonna tell you what he said. Find out word for word, but guaranteed it's what he said almost. And what I took from that, at first I was like, man, that's great sportsmanship. But then I was like, wait a minute. Lawrence has been so inconsistent with the weapons that he's had. Is it really a team issue? Because they lost to the Bills. It wasn't by a whole lot. They lost by 10. And every matter of fact, every game that they've lost has been by 1 possession or less. This is the first game they lost by 10, but by 2 possessions. But aside from that, even when when Trevor Lawrence has played great, it wasn't enough. Maybe he just needed a little bit more, extra touchdown or I don't know, a better decision. Um, and I'm not ready to give up on him because I think this year with Doug Peterson and a different coaching staff, I think maybe taking this year and going into next year is really going to be a make or break season for him next year, not this year. But right now, I think it's more of a quarterback issue than in the whole organization. I think they're on the right track. I mean, I think we could all agree that they played great this entire year. Their record doesn't really say who they been playing like. They've been playing amazing. I think they've been playing great. Not like last year. Last year they played like a college team last
So I want to look at the stats, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bree or June.
I want you to. Can you make me co-host so I can share my screen too?
Yeah, I got you. I'll just let you share. Hold on. All participants. Okay. What I was gonna say was the only wins it to the Colts. Colts been struggling, 24-0. Chargers 38-10. Chargers haven't been the Chargers that we thought they were going to be going into the season. And then the last one they had was Raiders 27-20. And we already know the Raiders haven't really panned out how a lot of people thought they were going to pan out. But the losses to the Commanders 28-22, 6 points there. 29-21 to the Eagles, 8 points there. 13-16. Texans, 7 points. Colts was 34-27, 7 points to tie, 8 to win. Giants 23-17. Broncos 21-17, 4 points. And then the Chiefs 27-10, which is 10. And I like to think that I know the Eagles, they have 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. And out of them 21 points, I want to say they would have put up 10 or something like that, or 14 in the first quarter, first half of the game, because the pick that was thrown, was it a pick 6? I don't recall exactly, but so you say quarterback, Bree, you say organization. Why organization?
Oh, hold on. I clicked the wrong thing.
year.
It's an organization because Look at, I'm gonna share my screen. This is their record in the last 10 seasons. Okay. That's an issue. Besides 2017, where their winning percentage was 600, they haven't done anything more than 375 in 9 seasons. They had one good season. Actually, I would say 2016, 2018, and 2019, they were, pretty good, pretty decent, but it wasn't enough. The winning percentage is not enough to get them over that hump besides the 2017 season. And it's an organization issue. Look at before 2017. It's that GM. That GM needs to go. Whoever their general manager is, he needs to go because they're not doing. It could be a quarterback problem, but Trevor Lawrence is coming into a shitty situation as it is as a team overall. And it's not fair to those players unless there's changes made from above. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does. I think what you're saying about the team, they had a lot of coaching changes, right, in the last 10 years. That's
But I don't
one.
think it's the coach. I
And
think it's of the coach.
and then the GM, he actually was the GM for the Niners that got them to the Super Bowl at one point, right? And he's still there, which I think he's brought in a lot of great players. And this year was a significant year, which they brought in all that massive amount of players. So I don't know. I don't think this year is a bad year for the Jaguars. I just think they could be a lot better.
So I'm gonna say a little bit both. I think the ownership is not that invested. I think the market isn't the greatest. I think the coaching has been inconsistent. And the players are come and go. We've talked about this before, Nikki on it. After 2017, if they would have just kept the same players there, they probably would have made another run. And they made their way to the AFC Championship in 17. And it came down to just a football game that was played, and the best team came out on top. But it could have went either way, the reason I asked if the quarterback played because I actually watched the game, and I felt like Trevor is what cost them the game. In my opinion. And then I go back to the Eagles game, which I watched. I had it on the other TV, so I wasn't watching it like focused, but I could see those 5 turnovers against a team like the Eagles. You're spelling defeat. And yes, they put up 20 points, 21 points. They lost by 8 or whatever it was. They lost by 8, but one can argue that was garbage yards. You know what I'm saying? They already had the lead to let the defense play. I'm gonna let you pass the ball, whatever. I watched the one against the Chiefs, and they started out pretty good, but then the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes settled down, gave his wife a kiss, and went back to work and beat him. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think the organization and the quarterback. But I want to see what he does year 2 with Doug Peterson. Let's see what happens next year. I think this year is a wash. What's their record? 3 and whatever, 7.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Texans. I think they got a good squad over there, and they're just figuring it out. So Nikki's not here, June. The question I was going to ask, but I guess we can all discuss it. So the Vikings beat the Eagles. They ran the ball, and then they made passes when they counted.
The Vikings or the Commanders?
Commanders beat the Eagles by running the ball effectively, passing, making good plays, good throws, and then of course bad miscues, I guess, or bad decision making on the teams. Penalties hurt, like the one when Heineke took the knee and your defense decided still to hit him when you had time not to hit him. He gave himself up, just tap him, he's good. Do you think that's a weakness in your team if a team could run the ball like that and make the passes that they were making in the catch?
So yes, I think that's a concern. We don't have Jordan Davis there right now. That's why we signed Joseph, the defensive tackle or whatnot, which a great plus, right? In Howie's eyes, he understands it too. He's not blind to it. So that's why we had to make that addition to the team to try to do something. because our secondary is not going to be great. I mean, Maddox is hurt. He went, he's IR. That was our other safety, man, which obviously it shows that Slay and Johnson can't do it all the time. If you have a passing game like that and a running game like that, you're gonna lose 9 times out of 10. If you have the miscues and the mistakes that we had, you're gonna lose 9 times out of 10. And I think Nick Sirianni said it best. I'm not trying to get away from the question, but Nick Sirianni said that interception or that turnover or that face mask, it didn't cost us the game. What cost us the game is the way that we played the entire game, and that cost us the game. So, shout out to Nick Sirianni. I mean, I thought that was well put, man. I was like, man, that's a fact. I'm not going to blame that missed call or that fumble or whatever, or that secondary allowing that McLaurin to do whatever he wants. But McLaurin is a beast too. I'm not going to lie. He's on my fantasy. He's on my fantasy. I want to say that. But I had the Eagles defense on my fantasy too.
Oh, how did that work out? The reason I asked the question is because before the game even started, me and Nikki were on the phone, and I said, I want to see what they do when a team could go point for point with them. I've asked you, and we've talked about this, that the Eagles put up a lot of points either in the second quarter or they play a great half, and then the rest of that is kind of like, not consistent. But your defense plays great, creates turnovers. They lead the league in turnovers, I want to say. And it's like one of those things where it's like when you put up points, you kind of handicap a team, right? The Texans ran the ball well, but the Texans couldn't put up points like with you consistently. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, run the ball. Great. You can run for 150 yards, but you can't put up points. So kill the clock, run the clock out, do what you got to do. I'm gonna let you do it because you're not putting up points. But then the Commanders put up the points there. And what I liked about the game, or what I saw, which was the concern, it was more on the defensive side, right? Was I wanted to see, one, how Hurts was going to respond to having a battle blow for blow. And two, I wanted to see how your defense was going to respond, knowing that they're not really stopping. You know what I'm saying? And it allowed the Commanders to dictate how they were going to play in a sense, right? Because they had the lead. It's the first time I think all season you guys didn't have the lead. You were under. And what I saw was, man, they ran the ball, and when your defense would press, bring 8 in the box, then he would throw. And McLaurin was catching everything you throw him. You know what I'm saying? They were making great throws. There was times your defense made great hits. Like when Thomas caught the ball that one time, they hit him. It came out, so it was an incomplete pass. And I like what your coach said too, but that's what I took away from it. I said, you know what? I think he responded great. I just think that the matchup that day, and it was a divisional game, and those tend to be a little, unpredictable. We've seen the Browns that couldn't win a game play some tough games within the division, but lose horribly outside division. I think, that moving forward, that's what I would want to see more is how do they overcome the blow for blow and the run game. I think that hurt you guys a lot in the run game because they ran the ball pretty well, pretty effectively.
I was extremely disappointed we lost, but I was extremely happy that we did. And I was happy that we lost the way that we did, right? We lost at home to a division rival, to a fourth place division rival, coming off a bye, coming off from being undefeated or whatnot. This was the perfect punch in the mouth. They lost it all, so now they see, and they lost it all based on a lot of mistakes. I think they got very comfortable, and I think they're very complacent, with just playing a fourth place Washington Commander team. So I think it's perfect, man. I think this was the perfect time to lose. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm for losing, but this was the perfect time to lose the way that they lost with the mistakes that they made. And now, hey, we're still in first place. We made all these mistakes. Let's not lose where we're at right now.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm and how we coming from the top rope, you know, how we said, I'm gonna sign somebody to try to fix this issue. So I'm gonna do my part. Team, you do yours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we lost Goddard too, which is another blow, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
he was catching some balls out there, making some plays. I agree. I think the loss was good in a sense that you get to improve. When you're constantly winning,
mhm,
you don't know what you have to improve. Somebody said when you play divisional games and you lose one, who's the team to win the next one is the one that they say a lot of people say the one that lost because they get to see where they went wrong. The one that won thinks they don't have to change anything, so they keep playing the same way. Um, I've told you my experience, 18-1. You know, you go the whole season waxing everybody, you do everything. The playoffs is pretty much a given, and then you get to the postseason, and the Giants were like, you know, hold up, we could beat these guys. We can get to them. And I think Brady got complacent. You know, Brady was like, oh, hold us to 14 points, and they did. Um, they were averaging with 37 points a game that season. So I think it's good. I think yeah, who wouldn't want to go undefeated all the way through 19-0? That'd be great. But to me, I'd rather lose a game now and win it all than win
mhm.
everything and lose the one that matters, which is the Super Bowl. Um, staying on the NFC East though. We talked about the Cowboys earlier. Um, what do you think the Cowboys need to do? Honestly, I don't. Do they need to get more weapons? Is it that they need to get rid of Dak Prescott? Is it the coaching? Because
I personally think it's in receivers. Go ahead, Bree.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I personally think it's the receivers. Um, CD Lamb did great. Again, he had great, but he had also he throughout the season he's had drops, crucial drops. And even though he had 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, however many yards he had that game, you still had those crucial drops, right? The ones that actually matter, right? When you're up 14 points and you had a drop, okay, cool. But hey, when the game is tied and you drop, hey, that's a crucial drop. And you leading to take over the number one receiver spot because we all thought Michael Gallup was going to be that guy after they paid him. He just hasn't been the same since he had that knee surgery. Um, I forgot who the third person was. The biggest mistake the Dallas Cowboys did was get rid of freaking Coop. In my opinion, biggest mistake they've done. And ever since then, they've been trying to fill that gap, bro. Because Elliott isn't who they thought he was going to be this year. So getting rid of Coop, that was their biggest mistake. And I think they've been trying to fill that hole all season.
yeah, I think losing Amari Cooper was big. As far as the receiving core go, I don't think that Prescott is the problem. I want to say coaching might be the problem. You had Jason Garrett, now you have this guy McCarthy. You know, a lot of people say McCarthy was a product of a leftover team that was great and they won. And you have Aaron Rodgers, 4-time NFL MVP, one-time Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP. You know, so he's like, well, you had the recipe and you had a top 10 defense the year you won it. Um, I don't know, man. I think one. I think the ownership needs to stop trying to be Jerry Jones. Stop trying to be the general manager and the owner. Just sit back, collect the billions, write the checks, and let your general manager and your head coach run the team. That's one. They should never gave Zeke the money they gave Zeke, and now they gave it to him, and he's sitting there not doing a damn thing. But Pollard could run the ball. But you want to bring Zeke in the fold because you drafted Zeke. You brought Zeke up. That's cool. Great. Listen, man. He's done. Get rid of him. Cut your losses. Move on. Wide receivers, I think they're great, but like you said, Amari Cooper was a different thing. You had to account for him. Gallup hasn't been out there. He was injured. You know what I'm saying? So now you got these receivers dropping passes too. And then, you know, with Dak, bro, just be Dak. Be Dak. Make smart decisions. It's cool. Like you said, take the sack sometimes. Get rid of the ball. Check it down. Do something. But I don't know, man. Right now, the Giants are playing good football. They're number 2 in the East, like you got up in the background. And you know, they're playing effective. They're playing efficient. They're making the right plays. They're not trying to lose the game. You know, and look, all they did was change the coaching there, and Daniel Jones is winning games. So I don't know, man. Let me see what else. Sit there. We talked about the East on both sides. Right now,
How
if you
dare you guys root against the four-time NFL MVP like that? Don't ever do that again. That's so disrespectful to the
and
four-time NFL MVP.
what we
Why would you ever root against the four-time NFL MVP?
listen, we talked about this earlier.
I'm
People,
kidding. I'm kidding.
I know, but what I said earlier was people like him, Brady, like these old timers, man. When you
It's
count,
their time.
they find a way to pull something out their butt. It's like the experience is there. But you know what I think happened with Rodgers this game? He trusted his wide receivers.
Yes, he did. He did. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
He looked so happy when they scored a touchdown, and I think it was Watson that scored a touchdown. He's on the field throwing his fist up, doing a discount double check. He's happy. He's like, yo, you saw the old Aaron Rodgers all over again. The guy that won games, the guy that told the press, RELAX, relax. We're good. And I think he trusted. And we said all year long, the difference between him and Patrick Mahomes is that Mahomes has trusted his receivers and he hasn't. In this game, he trusted and they won. I'm not saying they're going to go out and win every game. But and Aaron Jones ran the ball well. He had over 100 yards rushing.
He did.
So now you got a good run game. Your wide receivers are catching. You're trusting these young wide receivers. You're elevating them as a quarterback. You're bringing them up. That's the difference, honestly. And you know what? What's up?
Do you think I think you're right about trusting the receivers, but do you think that he finally found the way to utilize those receivers? Because Lazard was it, right? He was the number one dude, and he just wasn't pulling his weight. But
Lazard had
now, when he
some good plays.
no, he did, but in this game, Watson was he was running his routes. He had 3 touchdowns, explosive. He was looking like a number one receiver. I think the commentators
But
said
also
something like, "Hey,
Lazard,
we found the Devontae."
but also
Was that?
Lazard is his, that's the only one that he's been able to really trust throughout the
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
So
But now,
that
but that's
defense
my
knows
question
that
to you though.
Lazard is getting doubled and triple teamed because they're watching film where they're like, okay, well, he's clearly, if he's going to throw the ball, he's going to throw it to Lazard. So that's what we need to focus on covering, which makes Watson wide open.
I mean, all game though.
No,
I
Lazard had
mean,
some good catches throughout the game.
he had, in my opinion, his biggest catch was the very end of the game that kind of sealed it. But um, I guess what I'm saying is the run game has always been great. They just didn't have any receivers. Dallas Cowboys, I don't even know what's going on with their secondary over there, to be honest with you.
I
They
don't.
just got burnt.
I have a question. I don't know if you guys talked about it or not. I know it was a little late, but I saw a picture. And they have right now the current playoff picture for the AFC and the NFC, right?
What was that?
I'm very confused right now on how the Buffalo Bills are above the Miami Dolphins when Miami Dolphins is number one in their division. They have a better record and they have a better divisional record.
I think people are not giving credit where credit's due. Me and June spoke about the Bills earlier. And, shout out to June. He was very honest on his opinion, and I had to agree with him. And I'm guilty of it. I put the Bills on a pedestal based on what they did last year. This year they've done great, but in 3 games they came up short. One was to the Dolphins, one was to the Jets, and one was to the Vikings. And like I told June, the Dolphins, I get it. It's hard, bro. Tua, you don't got your whole defense up there. You got some rookies starting at safety and corner. But the Jets that just got manhandled by the Patriots the week before, and you're supposed to have a better team on paper than the Patriots. And you lost to the Jets says a lot. Says a lot. So I think people are going off the propensity. You know, I think people are not sold on Tua. I don't know
But
why.
it shouldn't matter on that, especially if you look at same thing. Look at the NFC side, right?
Yeah.
It's based straight off of stats and numbers on where the placements of each team is in the current playoff picture. But you have the Bills above. First of all, you have the Bills above the Chiefs and Miami.
I don't know how. You know, I know divisional games
Exactly.
don't matter.
Exactly.
Really
At
play
this
better.
point, honestly and truthfully, as of right now, the Chiefs should be number one. They have the better record, right? The highest winning percentage, and they're number one in their division, right? They're 7-2, where the Dolphins are 7-3, you know. But also the Dolphins are number one in their division with a better divisional record than the Buffalo Bills. I I just wholeheartedly don't agree with, or I don't know the Frankie, but Frankie said it yesterday on FaceTime when I was on FaceTime with your whole entire family, but you. Um, Frankie said it too. He was like, they want the Bills to have this Cinderella story after their loss in the playoffs last year. That's who the NFL wants to win, because at the end of the day, it's politics too.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Look at the power rankings on Sports Illustrated. I shared it because it just shows the inconsistency in some of these. Vikings 1, Bills 2, Eagles 3, Chiefs 4, 49ers 5. Let's just stop there, right? It doesn't matter the rest. Then you go to the one NFL Network put out, the Eagles, Chiefs, Vikings, Dolphins, then Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they looking at when they pick this, right? If you ask me today, I'm going to tell you I'm still going to go Eagles 1 because they just took the first loss. Vikings 2nd because they haven't lost since week 2 or whatever it was. I would say probably Chiefs 3rd because they've been winning. Maybe Dolphins after that, and then probably Bills 5th.
I'm telling you right now, if the Dolphins were to play the Bills right now with how they're playing, the Dolphins are going to beat them again.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. I think so. Hands down. The only problem is that this time they play, they go to Buffalo. And right now, for this upcoming game in Buffalo, they're expecting 4 to 6 feet of snow. And them
But also looking at the Sports Illustrated power rankings, you have Miami all the way at number 9. Like how?
exactly below the Cowboys and the Bucks. I mean, and the Ravens
And the Ravens.
and the 49ers. Look, again, and maybe it's propensity to win later on, maybe, but even then.
No, but these are power rankings after the week. When they do power rankings, it's not power rankings based off of in the near future. It's power rankings based off their performance that week.
Trying to make sense of it because it doesn't.
That's not make, but that's not. There's no sense you can make of that, Frank.
No, to me, it's like, why would you put the Ravens, well, no, the 49ers who just started winning, not just started winning, they turned the team around. I go with the first one. You could you can argue Vikings up there over Eagles. That's debatable. But Bills to be above Eagles is crazy.
NFL Network has the most accurate one.
I think so. I can see that. I can see that.
Because and how they're doing it is AFC, NFC, AFC. They're doing it like NFC, AFC, NFC, AFC, and then there's no other NFC team with a better record than the Bills. So the Bills are number 5.
That's fair. I don't know. I don't know. I again, I think people are living off what the hype, you know. But Dune said it. I've said it. This, you know, Allen can't keep doing what he's doing and win games.
But he's trying to do everything. He's trying to do everybody's job, and it's.
So now I'll ask you this question, and I got to go real quick to use the bathroom, but you can talk with June about it. Is it the coaching? When Brian Dable was there, they didn't have these problems. Now you got a different offensive coordinator. Do you feel that it could be the coaching that's causing him to think that he has to do everything?
That, or it could be he just wants to be the superstar, because also how I look at it is he probably feel like he didn't do enough to get them to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship. so he has to make up for their loss last year. And he wants to be the superhero that saves the day. Or he's rushing his plays when he's throwing these picks.
I agree with you. I think he wants to be this guy that overcomes his mistakes. So let me go ahead and put the whole team on my back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling Frank, I said, I'm not even gonna blame the coach. I'm gonna blame Josh Allen because he could have taken the sack, he could have threw the ball away, and he could have kneeled down and took the 3 points, because he had enough time in the pocket where it wasn't a quick decision where he threw a quick interception because it just, the rush was coming. He had enough time back there to think about what he was going to do next. And I think because of those miscues that he's had, those interceptions that he's thrown all season, I had the Bills as a Super Bowl contender at one point, but now the way that the Dolphins are playing and the way that the adjustments are being made in Baltimore, it's going to be kind of hard to beat both of those teams.
I agree. So, Frank, I had said that I don't think it's a coaching issue. It's more on him. But it's also he's doing all of this based on trying to make up for the loss in the playoffs. So he feels like, he's trying to be the superhero to do everything.
That's
and
fair.
He's right.
That's fair. I also feel that he's maturing.
That's a key word right there.
A lot. I did it. I gave him a lot of credit because he's weathered a lot of storms. But even Patrick Mahomes, after all the success he had, he's still growing and learning, right? We said that in the beginning of the season, started recording. Patrick Mahomes, we thought with Tyreek Hill, he was going to be a little harder. He's having a little harder season, but it's not. He's trusting his players. He's throwing touchdowns to different people. He's learning. He's finding a way to win. He's not giving it away. And when he does make the mistakes, they got 2 losses on the season, and it's based on a bit just out being played and poor mistakes. Like Eagles getting a rough from the passer. Same thing with the Colts. You had them, the guy hits them, roughing the passer, they get new life. I think he needs to mature and needs to understand that you don't have to do it all, like you said. You don't have to be the end all be all. It's okay to check it down. It's okay to take this, throw it away. It's okay to take a knee and say, okay, let me see the next down. I don't think it's coaching either, to be honest. I just feel they're killing themselves. I will say that. And maybe they're too relying on Josh. Maybe they're too relying on Stephon Diggs. Maybe the fact that they don't really have a run game has hurt. The defense is great up front, but sometimes back in the back they can get exposed a little bit. But then again, it's because, like I said earlier, they have rookies starting. They lost Poyer. Their tandem they don't have, and they're figuring it out. But I think we could all agree that when Josh Allen doesn't make the mistakes and he plays great, they're a hard team to beat. They overcame some of the loss. They beat the Chiefs again this year. They beat the Ravens, but you lose to the Jets, the Vikings, and the Dolphins, and then how you're losing.
And 2 of them are divisional games.
Correct. But we already found out that doesn't really matter anymore. So to me, you can't make those mistakes, man. I mean, you can't. I couldn't stand losing to the Vikings. It's an NFC team. You don't play them all the time. You don't see them. But the Dolphins and the Jets, you know their tendencies. You have film, but the Dolphins are a hard team to defend against. You have to play. A lot of people say that Josh Allen's better than Tua, and then you lose to him, or you lose to the team, I should say. So I don't know, but Bree won the pick'ems this week. We didn't cover it because we didn't have it. Nikki won't be able to get on. But she said Bree won the pick'ems. We don't have the numbers. She made sure to say that June came in last. So I guess if you ain't first, you're last, Ricky, because me and Nikki was in the middle somewhere. But Bree won. And I think what put Bree over was the fact that Steelers won, and we all went against
the Steelers. Y'all all went against the Steelers. Fake. Y'all all went against the 4-time NFL MVP. Fake again.
I talked to Bree the other day, and I asked her. I said, Bree, did you really think that the way that the Packers were playing, they were going to beat the Cowboys? And she said, yeah. So I said, and then I asked her again. I said, no, no, no. Did you really
I
think
was
that the
so
damn Cowboys?
I was joking. I was joking, trolling, something that June's very good at.
I never do that.
But I did tell him though the reason why I picked the Packers, and it wasn't because of the offense at all, right? I picked them based off of the moves that they made for their defense these last like 2 weeks, and the additions that they've been adding, their safeties, their CBs, their these people that they're adding to their defense. And I had told June, I was like, I based it solely on if Aaron Rodgers could do the mediocre bare minimum and that defense can stop Dak Prescott, which it was a back and forth game, a little struggle, but they still got over it. I didn't pick it based off of Aaron Rodgers and the offense, which they, shockingly surprised me, but I did it based off of the moves they made on that defense. So yeah. And I also knew to never go against the 4-time NFL MVP.
Yeah. I mean, the nerve of us, right? You're so right about that.
I'm kidding. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Guys, I'm kidding.
Good. June just put something on here, and I forgot to mention it. Linebacker Devin White for the Buccaneers, before going to Germany, found out his dad passed away, and he said it was very hard to play Sunday after learning that his dad passed away Thursday, just hours before he had to get on the plane to Germany.
And he got the NFC Player of the Week.
Yeah, he stepped up big time. I don't know. I've never had to suffer a loss of a parent yet, so I don't know what that feels like. I know I've had a loss of family members and haven't been able to go because of commitment to what we do for a living. So I can understand, but a parent is always tough, and condolences out to the White family. But he played well. He honored his dad that day. I tell you what, he was real good there.
Yes.
So with further ado, let's go into the pick'ems. I guess Nikki can give us her picks after, or I'll send her ours and she can add them to the list. So how the list is gonna go is Bree, me, June, and obviously Nikki's not here, so she's last. Thursday night, Titans at Lambeau. Packers are 4-6. They're favored by 3 points. Titans are 6-3. They're going to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. And Rodgers coming off a good win. Who do you got, Bree?
I'm gonna pick the Packers. But why I'm gonna pick the Packers is because all the Titan safeties and cornerbacks are out. And Bud Dupree's out.
I'm picking Packers because they're at Lambeau, and hey, why not?
Yeah, I'm going with Packers too.
Packers. All right. Sunday, we got Jets at Patriots. Bree.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go Jets. I am. Sorry, Frank. You're not really a real Patriots fan this season anyway. So
I'm going Pats. I'm going Pats.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to lose in Jersey, and they won. So if you win in Jersey, you could win. You could win in Foxborough. So I'm going Pats. What you got, June?
Man, as much as I want to go freaking Jets, I am. Go Jets. Jets.
So, Frank, did you catch my little shade to you?
What? Oh, about not being a real fan this season? It's all right. I know what I am at heart. All right. There's something I do want to ask you guys after this. Something that we was talking about in a chat that I have with Nas and Jala and Fargas, June G. But I'll bring it up after. So after that, we have Bears at Falcons.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Falcons are favored by 3, and the over-under is 49.5 points.
I'm
Damn.
gonna go Atlanta. I am. I'm gonna go Atlanta.
I went Bears. I don't know why, but I did.
Hey, I'm going Bears, but I want to say something that I wanted to talk about before, and it's gonna be really quick.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is
improving.
a monster. He is a monster. Let me tell you about that man. And I was talking to Bree a little bit about it. And it's crazy. I turned on ESPN yesterday, and they said the way that Justin Fields has been playing, he's going to sneak into an MVP conversation. And we're going to look at those numbers and be like, damn, how can I miss that? Justin Fields, that's all I'm going to say. That dude right there, improvement like crazy. Ever since they let him do whatever it is they let him do over there.
I think Justin Fields has become, he believes in himself. I think that's what it is.
Mhm.
All right, so go ahead, Bree.
I said I agree, but
I,
I'm still going Mariota.
no, that's fine. That's your baby.
He played horrible, by the way, last week. I just want to let you know that, Bree.
Yeah.
Trust me, he's my
Horrible.
fan. Did me in. Okay.
Trust me, we watched at the bar with the senior vice president of NFL.
Wow. Look at this. Browns at Bills. Bills are favored by 4 points. The over-under is 41.5.
Who at Bills?
Browns at Bills.
Come back to me on that one. I gotta think.
June?
I'm going Bills. Browns ain't gonna pull that off.
I 2-1 Bills. I think this is what Josh Allen needs. That team needs another game at home to get their stuff.
I think I'm going to go. I think I'm gonna go Bills.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Bills.
All right. Eagles at Colts. I already wrote my pick down. June, I got yours down.
I don't know. After that run that Matt Ryan did, that 40-yard run, he might be. um, I don't know. Y'all saw that run. Y'all saw that like 40-yard run.
Just breathe. Stop.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Philadelphia.
Okay, Eagles. Okay, then we have the Rams at Saints. Rams at Saints. Rams.
I don't know. I've been smoking that New Orleans pack all week.
Stop.
They favored by 3.5 points. Over under 39. So the Saints are 2-4 at home, under 500, and the Rams are 1-2 away. I don't know where to go with this one, to be honest with you.
I don't
I'll tell you.
one either.
I'm gonna help you guys out.
Who you got, June?
Cup, he's out with the surgery, and Buddy's under concussion protocol again. Stafford.
I think the fact that Cup is out is more than anything. I went Saints.
Yeah, me too.
I'll go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. New Orleans.
All right. Lions at Giants. Giants are 3-point favorites. Over under is 45. Lions are 1-3 away. Giants are 4-1 at home. I am going Giants.
I'm also gonna go Giants because my grandma asked me to.
You know, there's the upset of the week, and the Lions are on a winning streak for the first time in many, many years and many, many moons. So I'm gonna go with the Lions on this one.
June, I would expect you to go with the Lions anyway because it's the Giants that they're playing.
You know what?
I'm just going off of the winning streak. You know, they got nothing to lose.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Giants.
Okay. Next game, Panthers at Ravens. Ravens are favored by 13 points in the over.
Samantha Darnold's team.
So you're going Panthers at Ravens. Okay.
Well, of
Baker
course,
starting.
I'm not gonna pick my ops. Like what?
I am going Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens at home. June, you're going Ravens as well. I can see you shaking your head.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'll root for my ops.
At Texans, I'm going Commanders, the 05s.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Heineke.
Yeah, Heineken, he's gonna get it.
All right. Raiders at Broncos. Like, who cares?
Oh God,
Two.
that's tough.
Bronco country, let's ride. Bronco country, let's ride.
You going Broncos?
Bronco country, let's ride. Oh, I didn't say I'm going Broncos. I'm just.
Oh, you saying just okay. Well, let me know what you're going. Because right now, I don't know. I want to go Raiders, but then I want to go Broncos. I don't know.
This is just a side conversation, really quick. The Trap House Sports, the guy who recaps the NFL games on TikTok, he was recapping the Cowboys and Packers game, and he was like, Cowboys start off good, the Dak start doing some fuckery, like throwing picks. He's like, did I miss the memo? Did I miss the hashtag? Is everyone doing a Russell Wilson trend?
Hey man, I don't know how Russell is living right now, but I'd say rich. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. There you go.
You know how he's living? Bronco country, let's ride.
Girl, you can keep saying that. Ain't nobody. I think they hate that when they say they cringe.
He says it for
Walmart
everything. How's your family life? Bronco country, let's ride.
What you said, June?
Do they blame Walmart? Because I mean, before Walmart got in the picture and bought the team, they were doing all right. So I don't know what's going on.
No, they're blaming him. Actually, they're blaming the coach. But
I blame the coach too, believe it or not.
Let's pick a team. We can talk about that after.
I think I'm going to go. I think I'm gonna go Raiders.
You going Raiders?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders. Fuck it.
Okay.
YOLO.
Well, I'm going to look at this and say the Raiders are 0-5 away. Broncos are 2-2 at home. No Waller. I'm going to go Broncos.
I think the tears of Carr will get him that W.
What?
You didn't see it? You didn't see the post conference? He was crying and shit?
No. So you're going
dude.
Raiders.
Dude was balling. He was balling. But I think those tears are going to carry. And he said some wild stuff. Directed at the team.
Okay, we'll see. Cowboys at Vikings.
Vikings.
June.
Lil Kirko in the squad.
I'm going Vikings as well. I think Vikings ride that high. Bengals at Steelers. Bree, I already know you're going Steelers.
We beat them once. We could do it again.
Yep. Okay. I'm going Bengals to tie it up.
I'm going Bengals too.
You guys are haters.
Bree, your team hasn't really given us anything to go on besides a few moments of flashes. Chiefs at.
Are you serious? Hold on. Are you serious right now?
Yeah, girl.
Are you serious? You're gonna go Bengals? You know TJ Watt is 2-0, undefeated.
Okay. I hope they win. But I pick Bengals. So
you know what, Frank? I'm gonna remember this conversation when I make it and you're like, oh, Bree, you taking me to the NFL honors? I'm gonna be like, oh, remember what you said on November? Remember on November 16th, 2022 at 8:20 p.m.
You don't hold me. You're gonna need security. I'm gonna be your security. All right. Chiefs at Chargers.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Jay Herbo.
Really?
That's my friend.
One Chiefs.
Going Chiefs too.
Anchor up, baby. All right. That was so corny.
No juju. No juju.
That's true. Monday night, we got the 49ers at Cardinals. I am going 49ers.
Oh,
What?
I gotta pick between Jimmy G and James Conner.
Yeah, you do, Bree.
You saw how Jimmy had all the cheerleaders from the Golden State Warriors shaking his hand?
Where Toby at? You on the bed?
Toby, yeah, probably.
Toby? Oh, he's playing with his bone. He's playing with his bone. I'm gonna go Arizona.
What?
You heard me.
June, who you
I
got?
didn't.
I got the damn McCaffrey in the squad. McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, and Jimmy G.
All right. That's our picks for the week. Now, you said you wanted to talk about something, June. What was it?
Was it about Justin Fields?
No, you it's about Justin Fields, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, man. Justin Fields, 100%. 100% a player that we haven't been speaking about too much. I mean, my main man, 300 grand. He's the first player to have over 100 yards and over 300 yards consistently for over like 3 or 4 games straight. Where are we at right here? I mean, my guy, he's accurate as hell. He threw an interception, right? Ended up being a pick six, which I think ultimately cost that game. But even though it was in the beginning of the game, but it's still been putting up points, man. So when looking at the Bears, do you guys think 100% is the defensive coaching or it's just the coaching overall?
You know what, Jim? That is a great question.
For the Bears?
Yeah.
Their struggles?
Their struggles, yeah. Because I mean, it shows that they could put up points.
So I'm gonna say this, man. I think it's the coaching, but I also feel that team is building. It's coming around. They've had so much turnover. Quarterback, coaching. Matt Nagy was there. Now he's not. So I think it's the coaching figuring out what they have. They're one of the few teams that went with the rookie quarterback and stuck to it. So I think as we see the development and the maturation of Justin Fields as a quarterback, it's what the coaches are going to do to bring in the right people to help this guy develop into accuracy and scrambling combined. We've yet to see a quarterback that's a running quarterback, right? And have the accuracy of a passing quarterback, a pocket quarterback. Mahomes does a little bit both, but I think Mahomes is more of a pocket quarterback who can scramble. Lamar is more of a running quarterback that can throw. I would like to see a little bit of the two mixed in to make one diverse hybrid quarterback. So I think it's coaching. I think it's coaching and I think it's development.
Okay.
No, that makes sense, Frank. I get what you're saying.
To me, I think we didn't talk about him much because, bro, there was nothing to talk about. If we're being honest. You know what I'm saying? The guy, we didn't see much of him, What we saw wasn't the greatest, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what do you expect us to talk about? If the Bears, there was nothing to talk about. They weren't winning. You know, they're making moves. I mean, as far as fantasy goes, he's probably one of the best things you can have on your team to make you points. There wasn't much to talk about, but now there is. We'll just have to see how it does the rest of the season. We're in week 11, so we got 7 more weeks to go, and then that's it. So we'll see.
All right. Without you guys looking down, there's 32 running backs in the NFL, right?
Okay.
All right. I just want to. That's just common sense. There's 32 running backs in the NFL, starting running backs. We're gonna focus on the top 20 rushers. Which 3 are quarterbacks off the top of your head right now?
You said there's 32. Oh, the top.
There's
Repeat
32.
that because
32.
you just said like 8 things at one time.
I know. The first one was to throw you off a little bit. So
That was like,
there's
wait,
32.
what are we talking about running back? Like, are you saying like there's 32 running backs? But are you trying to say they're quarterbacks?
No. There's 32 running backs in the NFL, starting running backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focusing on the top 20 rushers, what 3 quarterbacks are in that category?
Lamar Jackson is one.
Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen.
Is that your final answer?
That's his. I got to think about this. Well, I know for a fact Lamar Jackson is up there. And Justin Fields, because we already put those stats that they've rushed for over, 1,000 yards. So I know those 2 are up there. A third, I want to say Josh Allen, but now I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about like all the weeks. So I'm thinking, give me like 30 seconds.
Look up, stop looking down, and watching your eyes.
I'm not looking at you. I have Bree Decor, my decorating game, on my phone. You told me to not look down. I'm in the middle of decorating. I'm in the middle of decorating a living room that's like split in half, so I got to perpendicular it, if that makes sense. So definitely Lamar and Justin.
Okay, all right. One more.
Bree, it's not an SAT question. You look so perplexed.
No, it is a SAT question. It is a SAT question. I don't want to say Josh Allen. That's the thing. I don't think it's him. I think that's going to be the trick, right? And I know because June's, is that your final answer? That's the trick. I don't know.
I mean, does it really matter?
Yes, that matters because I want to be correct. Okay, so I really got to think about this question. Was just thrown at me. Usually when we have questions and stuff, we think about it unless it's trivia where there's multiple choice answers where we could look at. Now I got to think off the top of my head and off the top of my freaking noggin. I don't know. I feel like Mickey right now.
Yes.
So I'm stuck between Josh Allen and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has been running a lot.
He sure has for his life.
He's been running a lot. I'm gonna go Josh Allen. So I'm gonna go. So we're doing top 3.
Yeah. Now go ahead.
I was gonna say we do top 4. I think Daniel Jones is up there. But I'm gonna do Josh Allen.
Okay. So you got Lamar, Fields, and Allen in that order.
Oh, and like 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I mean,
like what's the order?
Yeah, what's your order? Who do you think has the most?
So number 3, I have Josh Allen. Number 2, I have Lamar number 2, and I'll do Justin Fields number 1 just to throw a curveball in there.
All right. What about you, Frank?
Justin Field 1, Allen 2, Lamar 3.
All right. So you guys are correct. However, there's only one correct winner in the order.
What do we win?
Justin, you win a hug.
All right. So who's number?
And you win lunch if you win, because I could DoorDash
All
it
right,
air, or I could buy it in person.
So Justin Fields is number 1, so we both got that correct.
All right, Justin Fields. He is ranked number 6 out of 20 with 749 rushing yards.
Wait, 6 out of 20? Like, what do you mean? You said 1, 2, or 3?
No. Well, I'm just talking about the top 20. He's ranked. He's
You're
ranked number
talking
6 out of the top. No.
Okay.
And I'm saying in that order though. Out of the top 20, they're ranked this way. So you're Justin Fields number 1 with 749 yards, and he's ranked number 6 out of 20.
Okay.
No, number 2. Who did you say was number 2, Frank?
He said Allen. I said Lamar.
Number 2 with 635 rushing yards, Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God.
And number 3 is Josh Allen with 476 yards. He's ranked number 20 out of the top 20 rushers in the NFL.
So where does Daniel Jones fall in? Because he's rushed a lot too, like quarterback.
Daniel Jones?
Because I will put him in the top 5. We can't see because you have your green screen on, but we can't see because you have your green screen on.
Yeah. So
I will put
Jones
him
is
in
not in the top
5.
20. I don't know why.
No, I'm saying like top. Like, can you look up like NFL NFL rushers this season? Because I will put Daniel Jones in my top 5, but as quarterback wise, I will put Daniel Jones and Hurts, maybe Hurts or Kyler too, because he hasn't been using his running backs until this past week.
So
I will do this. So my top 5. So this will be my top 5. Number 1 would be who I said, Justin Fields. Number 2, Lamar. Number 3, Daniel Jones, right? Number 3 is Josh Allen. Number 4 is Daniel Jones. Number 5, I would put
Daniel Jones has 387.
But where does he fall? Like quarterback wise.
So Daniel
quarterback wise,
number 35 out of 102 rushers.
Can you look at can you filter to just quarterbacks?
No, because they don't let you do position by position. It ranks them. So okay, I'll tell you what. Justin Fields 1.
Wait. Let me give you my 5. Let me give you my number 5. Kyler. I'll do Kyler number 5. So Justin Fields number 1. I got that correct.
Okay. Lamar number 2.
Uh-huh.
Then it's Josh Allen number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones number 4. Kyler Murray number 5. Jalen Hurts number 6. Mariota number 7.
Y'all need to ask me to bet you do your lottery tickets because
Geno Smith.
I'm a good guess. I'm a good guesser. I said Daniel Jones number 4 and Kyler number 5, but I said Kyler or Jalen Hurts, and I put Kyler. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good at this because I'm just like thinking about game wise.
Honestly, I thought that Allen rushed for more yards than Lamar.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting though how I mean, shoot, man, I get you're the quarterback and I get you're mobile, but also it's also mind blowing that you could be you could have more rushing yards than the Aaron Jones, for example, right?
All right, well, let's go wrap it up, brothers and sister. I'll go first, man. I'm messing up these pistachios. They're actually pretty good. Hey, another good podcast, another good week, another week of football. Great games. I look forward to this weekend. It looks like it's getting better. I think what they should do with like Broncos and stuff like that, just don't even play them. Bypass them.
Yeah, please.
Play them locally, And
AAU football team.
yeah. Listen, where can I put it, man? Another week. Thank you guys for coming on. I look forward to this all day. I look forward to when I can actually be more dedicated to it. It's coming soon. Next year by mid-season, I'll be free and be able to focus more on what we do. But it's always good to get on here, have the good chemistry, have everything going. We missed Nikki today, but she's with us in spirit. We'll see her next week. Thank you, Bree.
Can picture.
Go.
Oh. Hey, another great podcast. Be here. I've never felt so free in my life. But hey, looking for the Eagles to bounce back this week. Keep the Broncos away from primetime NFL. Please do us that favor. If we want to sign some petitions, we can. We can start here in the podcast next week. You let us know. We will make it happen. But good to see you guys.
Bree.
I know I got here a little late, but always a pleasure doing this with you guys. And Celtics won 7 in a row. Jason Tatum's in favors for NFL MVP this season. And also rest in peace to those 3 University of Virginia football players that passed away 3 days ago. Prayers to their families. My condolences. It's very, very sad. Especially because all 3 of those had dreams of playing in the NFL, something that we talk dearly about. So rest in peace to them, and I hope their family gets answers. And just prayers to them. And I just hope everyone has a good rest of the weekend. That's all I have.
Well, this is Fran Presents the Play Call. Bye.